All right, this is September the 16th, 2012. This is HRM, Caesar St. Augustine de Buonaparte, presidential candidate, like that means anything, and also known as Reality Supreme Being on YouTube. All right, I can take these off now. Good grief. All right, so I speak better with holding the microphone. Anyway, I want to bring up an issue with you. So ever since this Ambassador Stevens thing and the 3 people that died with him happened, like the Aurora shootings and the Sikh temple shootings and the 9/11s events that I pre-predicted. 9/11 I predicted 7 years before it happened. The other ones, they're all cryptic predictions, and they're that way because all my videos will explain to you repeatedly that I'm doing this as punishment to everybody who screwed me over. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't deserve to know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day and how many people's lives are going to be saved because you're not worth it. You know, your city, your collective United States of America took all my cars, my trucks, my boats, my motorhomes, followed me around for almost 10 years, raping me of everything that I worked for. In America, you're supposed to work hard and enjoy the fruits of your labor. I've never seen one day of enjoying the fruits of my labor. And let me tell you, I've worked harder than any professional anywhere in the United States, professional or non-professional. There isn't anyone that has worked harder for my goals on this planet, as far as I'm concerned, who used nothing but second-hand tools and second-hand resources in order to get there because I wasn't born rich. I'm not complaining about not being rich. I'm complaining about working hard and having my stuff stolen from me and the color of law doing it. And that's why I say the negative things that I've said. Screw all of you. You deserve the hurricanes, the tornadoes, the indoor shootings. You deserve all of it. Now, let me bring up an interesting point, how belittling the psychology of every human being on YouTube is. On September the 13th, I recorded 2 YouTubes. I titled them Naked Ambassador Stevens, and then another one I recorded, there's something related to naked and nudity. And I said dead pictures, which I showed dead pictures. But it wasn't of Ambassador Stevens. It was of a U.S. soldier whose face had been blown off, and children whose arms and legs are gone, and children who have been blown up, and 3 children in one coffin, and the father standing there going, "Oh, woe is me." Well, I'm sure that has created a lot of hatred. You're just repeating the same thing. I'd rather listen to my repeat stuff than to see the kind of repeat stuff that you do when you pay your taxes. So, why is the mainstream media totally ignoring me? See, they're paying attention to the video that they claim insulted Prophet Muhammad and started all this violence in the Middle East. Well, I've done the same insults, but I haven't gotten that. So, what's the story here? You know what the story is? The real truth is, those people that are in the Middle East, a lot of them have heard about me. A lot of them have seen my YouTubes. My YouTubes have been interpreted, and now the terrorist is using it as a whipping post against United States American citizens because they say to each other, and they say this publicly and probably privately, and the media will never cover it. Hey, Caesar knows what he's talking about. He's not even Muslim, and he's one of our brothers. He hates that place. But I don't see anybody lifting a finger to help me get out of here, because this place is evil for me. For me personally, it has been a personal experience of nothing but evil, contradictory, hypocritical people all over the place, including the churchgoers. They're all hypocrites. Not one of them have I met that have any kind of class and substance. That's the truth. I don't have to try to prove it. It's out there. And there are a lot of American citizens that think along the same lines I do. It's no secret. So why is the media suppressing these viewpoints? Why is it that YouTube mixes the YouTube so much that not enough people know about me? But they know about Obama. Oh God, millions of views. And bloody pictures of the war, millions of views. naked models and naked pictures, millions of views. But a guy gets up and talks 15 minutes for 3 years, 300 videos, and I've only gotten like 20 negative comments and 5 down thumb turns. You know why? How so many people, more than 10, 11,000 people now have looked at my videos in 3 years, and the last year has been at least more than a few thousand. So it's building. And the government's watching this, trust me. They're watching the building of the views and the building of the attitudes, because sooner or later it's going to come to a head. And whether it's a 6-digit figure, hundreds of thousands of people, or maybe even millions of disgruntled citizens wanting to do something about this but feeling that they can't, eventually the government's going to go, the longer this guy lives, the angrier he gets, and the more harder it's going to be for us to make any kind of friendship with him or any kind of amends the longer this goes on, because his health is being hurt too. So his anger is escalating, and it's escalating in a verbal form. I mean, it's Alexander Hamilton and George Mason. Both of them pretty much agreed back then when they made the first Constitution that it isn't very good Constitution. It's a milky, wishy-washy thing, is what Alexander Hamilton said. Go check out the history. You'll see. And they're not the only ones that said it. And for George Mason to have said it and have a university named after him means, he's just as important as all the other founding fathers. Just because he had a negative opinion about the Constitution doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve to be mentioned. Kids don't learn this at a young age, but they do when they get into the universities. They learn all the truths. They learn about the fact that Pearl Harbor, they knew about Pearl Harbor before it happened. They knew that it was going to happen. They didn't make any provisions to safeguard against it. Oh, you'll hear a lot of opposing views to what I just said, but believe me, it's all bull crap. It's all lies. These are people are fanatics that wave the flag. They fanatically wave the flag to support their violent views. And when a person like me gets up and says, look, this is what they've done to me, and I've shown through all my videos what the United States government, state, federal, and local, have done to me, it's overwhelming for most people. They can't sit there and listen to it because it's a lot of negativity. Well, of course it's negativity. The people that did it created the negativity. So what do you want me to do? Stop making the videos? The White House a minute ago, let me back up. A minute ago asked YouTube to review the tape that supposedly is being blamed for all this violence. Well, like I said, September 13th, I titled those YouTubes as naked stuff, naked Ambassador Stevens, dead, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't a lie. I was showing dead pictures. It's just that I put commas in between the statements, meaning that was separated statements. People don't pay attention to that. So they go on YouTube, but they hear me out. Well, let me tell you, I had more views in this Ambassador Stephen things in 3 days than I've ever had in all the 3 years. More than 320 people have viewed one of them that was titled Part 1, Naked Ambassador Stevens, Dead, and the other one almost, into the hundreds, and the third one about 70. Now, get ready. Get ready for this one. I want you to listen carefully. The one I did yesterday was said, Ambassador Stevens' eulogy. You know how many views I got on that? Watch carefully. That's right, 10 views. Or was it 15? Who cares? Compared to 320 views in just 3 days. You know what that's saying? And no comments. I mentioned in those videotapes, don't comment to me. Leave your crappy comment, whether you like me or not, at the White House. Leave it to that Bilderberg puppet President Obama, and also call Bush, too, the previous president that kept the war going, that started it. Call him, too. Call him at his Texas ranch, and call him a jerk and a Bilderberg puppet. And while you're at it, call Miss Clinton, Hillary, a puppet, and her husband a puppet. They're all puppets. You know what they're puppets of? This is what they're puppets of. Money. Money. Worthless, bloody money. With a blasphemy on it, says, in God we trust. So the same money you're paying in taxes, kills innocent men, women, and children in the wars, and also blasphemies the names of God, because you've got the name of God on every coin and every bill, killing people. What do you think a real God would think about that? 20. You've seen the trick about folding the 20 and seeing the World Trade Center on fire, fold it like an airplane, and the Pentagon on the other side. By the way, that bill was created in 1984 when they took the picture of the front of the White House, which is on the new 20. and then it wasn't released until 1996. How did I know about the folding of the bill showing 2 skyscrapers on fire years before 9/11 happened? I knew about it. Now, I don't have to prove it anymore, because what really cements my proof is the giant letter I sent to the Clinton White House in 1993 showing them the top of 2 skyscrapers and telling Clinton that planes can be used as weapons of mass destruction flying into buildings, obviously. Now, I knew the day of that event from a quantum matrix prediction that my computer spit out, calculating what the pilot did that evening when he took off from Maryland on 9/11 and crashed into the White House lawn in 1993 on a Saturday on 9/12. But he took off on 9/11. The quantum matrix computers I've had in the past and presently, they're the ones that picked that date out. And sure enough, 9/11 was when it happened. I just didn't know what year. I probably did, but I didn't dive deep enough into interpreting all the information I had to arrive at 2-1. But it was there in front of me the whole time. It was there on the $20 bill. 21. So, anyway, so that's to give you a little background. And as far as Ambassador Stevens and all the embassies overseas, hey, have at it, Middle Eastern people, have at it. Destroy all those embassies. Those embassies represent nothing but evil, contradictory nature. On one hand, you're being fed favors, and on the other hand, your children are being killed. Which would you rather have? You know, even Muhammad listened to Christ. He read the Bible. He honored the name of Christ. So, you know, he knew about Matthew 18:6, that you're not supposed to hurt children. So what do you expect Muslims to do when they're dealing with and Hillary Clinton saying, this is horrible, we helped your country, liberate your country, and this is how you repay us? Well, hey, I am a citizen of the United States, and I have done nothing but good things my whole life, and this is how America repays me? That's my message to you, Hillary. This is how America has paid me back? Taking my motorhomes, my cars, my boats, my trailers. This is what you've done to me, hurting my health. Touché, Miss Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State. Listen to that statement. You turn around and tell the public statement saying this is how the Muslims treat you. Well, this is how I treat Americans. Hell with you. I hope a huge meteor comes in the middle of the United States and makes a huge hole and destroys all of you. I'm worse than the Muslims. I'm sure they wouldn't wish that on anybody, but I do, because Christ already wished it on you. Christ himself said, whoever harms a child, better to tie a millstone around your neck than to face what God is going to do to you. And that's what's going to happen to Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam has a millstone attached to the round of his neck. How do you interpret a millstone? A millstone could be any size. It could be the size of a pea, could be the size of a rock, could be the size of your tower computer, could be the size of Rhode Island. And that's the end of America. It would be nothing but an ocean in the middle of it, just like it was billions of years ago when there was an ocean in the middle of America. Hey, I'm just calling it like it is. Whether you want to call it a prediction, whether you want to call it Armageddon, I don't care. All I know is what you have contributed in your collective United States of America, what you've done to me is beyond comprehension, beyond compensation. And you are going to get it, trust me. The longer I am not answered, the worse it's going to get for you, because it's building up like a powder keg. It's been 3 years so far. Ambassador Stevens, the people in Aurora, Colorado, all these shootings. Remember I said, I have a device that would end all that. No one could ever do anything dangerous with a gun or a rifle ever again. And you can own as many as you want. but you won't be able to get away with it. So you think about that. There are inventions that could be made without making new laws, without subjecting people to any kind of slavery or anything, or mind control. That's not in the picture. This is a very simple idea, much like my oil tanker, the spherical barge that I invented back in the late 70s, which would have stopped all the oil spills that could ever happen. All they had to do back then is start building containment ships like spheres, so that when you punch a hole in them, you can rotate them so the hole's pointing upward, the oil spill is stopped. It's so simple. And the oil companies wouldn't do it. They wanted the oil spills. The technology was available then, and it's certainly available now. And then my water recycling house. All you had to do is build houses, two-story houses, differently, and you wouldn't have any more droughts. But no, you don't want to listen to people like me because you can't control me. You're afraid. That's the real bottom line why the federal government has left me like this, and no one has lifted a finger to help me, because they know the people of the United States don't have that kind of compassion for people like me. Because I say ugly things on YouTube, because I go and say you all deserve to die. I'm playing into their hands, you might say. But not really. I'm not playing into their psychology at all. I'm playing into the real truth, the Gandhi truth, which is you're all evil. And until you all form together and revolt against the government, the next question you'll have is, how do I revolt? Listen to all my YouTubes. Take your money out of the banks, everybody, including the rich. Demand common sense government. Not this government you have. This is not common sense. It's contradictory, it's sporadic, it's crazy, it's going in a million different directions at one time. Nobody can think dealing with that kind of thing. You want a common sense government? You have to elect people like me. And you have to give us absolute power, period. Because I'm not going to kill anybody. I'm going to strip them nude in a public square and drop them off in an island in the middle of the Pacific and let them fend for themselves and let them see what it's really like to have to survive, like they do on the show Survivor. But in Survivor, at least they bring you things. There, I'm not going to bring you nothing. You can stick your fish hook out in the ocean and fish for your food. Talk to you later. Bilderberg puppets. You're all puppets so long as you let them continue doing this. It's Sunday, and nobody's supposed to be working. Gandhi did that one, too. Remember? See you later.